Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Space Wizard Total War. Welcome on into another campaign for Total War Warhammer 3 Immortal Empires. This time we will be piloting Gor-Rok and Itza. This is going to be on the SFO Grimhammer War Under the Mountain overhaul mod, so it'll have a bit of differences from your normal vanilla campaign. There aren't too many mods that we've got slotted on in for this one, but I will have the mod list in the description, and all of that should be updated hopefully here within the next day as of release. We'll also have the most up-to-date change list for the SFO Grimhammer mod in the description as well, but let's get right on into it. In Itza, the first city of the Lizardmen, Gor-Rok stands at the helm of Illustria's martial might in the jungle continent's heartlands. He is indeed directly central in Illustria there. You've got enemies all around, a few allies if you can actually reach them up in different areas, but we stand alone against a tide of enemies. For our starting army, we are going to have the Skink cohort with javelins. They'll have 8 of those before switching to a mace and shield, I believe. We'll have our Saurus warriors with shields, which will be our bread and butter for the entirety of our campaign, as well as our Saurus warriors with spears. We'll also have a single Bastillodon with the Revivification Crystal, which is going to be an incredible unit. In vanilla, it has 6 or 7 uses of a direct heal on one unit. In SFO here, it has kind of an area of effect heal that affects 5 allies, and will be going off as long as leadership is higher than broken. And it will actually resurrect dead combatants, making this a very, very good centralized medic for you. And that also could do some damage back, battle medic. Some missile skinks as well, sneak on the back. For our faction effects, we are going to have the Right of Resilience, Barrier, and Defense bonuses for Saurus. We'll also begin with control of Lord Croak that is affected by, I believe this is supposed to be alignments, and it has an extended skill tree. So you'll see when we're in the map, we've got alignments we'll be working with as kind of a campaign mechanic. Our barrier hit point will have extra barrier hit points plus 1,000 for all units when we're defending settlements, and we'll have extra defensive supplies by plus 1,000. For Gor-Rok himself, his whole army is going to be 25% heavier, and they're going to have 10% missile resistance, and then an extra 10% physical resistance as long as they are defending. So you do try to want to get as many of your enemies into a you want them to be on offense more than defense, but it doesn't really matter with Lizardmen. You can fight out as much as you want. As the alignments, you're actually going to be gaining through battle. We already saw that we are in very centralized Illustria, but for our lore, Gor-Rok the Great White Lizard is amongst the greatest and most renowned Saurus in living memory. When he first emerged, alone from the spawning pool of Itza, his size and albino coloring immediately marked him out as a future champion, and so it has been. For Gor-Rok has fought countless battles, his heavily scarred body a testament to the myriad hard-won triumphs. He is the mightiest of warriors, the solid center around the Saurus battle lines advance, and the rock upon which Itza's enemies are broken. Gor-Rok does not know pain or fear, and in combat he is unrelenting, always looking for another opening to attack, while never taking a single step backwards. So it is. You all voted. Eltharion just barely, losing to the stalwart defender of Itza. Let's get right to it. Shall purge the world. I mean, surely they're here for good. The great plan has to be purely positive. Alright, so how they play Itza. Begin the campaign with the devastatingly powerful hero, Lord Croak, and wield his settlement-crumbling powers. Indeed, this Lord Croak actually starts off with some debuffs, so we'll have to jump in there in a second. So start the geomantic web buildings across your provinces to reinforce its power and boost the effects of commandments. We'll complete blessed spawning missions to periodically recruit from middle units. It is fantastic. So one of the main changes between current, or at least vanilla, Lizardmen and the SFO variants is you'll see we have these alignments up here. So you earn these in battle, and I'm not sure if you can gain them through other sources, but your main source is through battle, and you can increase the amount you gain through resources, or research, rather. But as you increase through tiers of 10, you kind of start off with 50, which is the more or less the kind of neutral version. If you drop below 50, you start taking a debuff. If you go above, you start getting kind of more buffs. But as you can see here, your construction time is kind of nothing is changed. But as you go increased in the alignments you have up to that 60, you'll get, I believe it's either 5 to 10% more. I've actually only dropped below the required amount of alignments as I was doing a bit of testing. So we'll get to see how that is really going to affect as we snowball and gain more and more battles. Got lots of enemies all around, and man, this volley is killing me. Let's drop this down a second. Prepared and professional. The next main change from the vanilla Lizardmen is going to be a technology tree. It's been hugely overhauled, and actually all of the Lizardmen factions are going to have very different versions of this technology tree. You're also going to be, we have a kind of an old one's favor income, or an old one's favor resource we have to manage as well that we'll be gaining over time. That's going to be how we get kind of the strongest researches, sequences of the different items and whatnot. Starting off with a sequence of lost relics here, just giving us a bit more winds of magic, some of these alien knowledges and such. But your most powerful technologies are going to be over here that are going to cost the old one's favor. You will have your kind of typical technology tree where you can go for the Tablet of the Skinks, upgrade your Croxagoran Skinks, Tablet of the Saurus for all of your Saurus and Temple Guard units, Greater Creatures for all of the Big Papas that are not Salamander-esque, unless it's the Ancient Salamander. And then over here with the Lesser Creatures, this is all winged fellas, and then most of your Cavalry. Also go ahead and have your Tablet of Crafts, Monuments, Order, and War, kind of similar to how you did in the original. But they are, as you can see, vertical this time instead of horizontal, and a lot of them giving slightly different, I would say a little bit better versions, kind of more consolidated than before. We are going to start off with the Tablet of, not the Saurus, surprisingly enough, but Tablet of the Crafts here, to give us a little bit more post-battle loot. These first technologies are very, very short. Afterwards, they are about double the original. A little bit more than double. The same thing goes with the Saurus. We'll go for Tablet of the Crafts first, and probably sort of cycle on over here to the Saurus and start giving us some nice weapon strength buffs, as well as probably some extra recruit rank. Let's dive on in here. We got some Lord Croak. We'll jump Lord Croak into Gor-Rok's force here. We'll let him on to training. He does both things when he's in the army, but starts off with a lovely retinue of magical items. He's got the Glyph of Potek, which gives us a nice bit of buffs there. Extra weapon strength and spell resistance for the whole army. Spell resistance for just himself. Golden Death Mask, which is good to keep him kind of near the enemies around him because it'll drop their attack by 10, making them turn into limp noodle fighters. And then the Standard of the Sacred Servant, giving us a bit more control and replenishment rate. Also giving us terror when fighting against the Warriors of Chaos and their different denizens. His own trait there is going to be the Spirit of the Venerable Lord Croak. Lord Croak's power is that of the first generation Slan. His connection with the old ones far greater than any of his living kin. He's all mummy-like now. He'll give you additional 20 growth, drop your corruption by 10, and then give you some more leadership, all in the same province. Our Lord Croak, though, is actually starting off with some debuffs. See if it shows me. His One with the Winds, though, still awakening from his slumber. His ability to draw on the winds is diminished. So experience gain has been dropped by 25%, cooldowns have been increased by 25%. This is faction-wide. Winds of Magic Power Reserve has been dropped by 25%, and then we actually also have a 10% drop in our casualty replenishment rate. So as we wake Croak up, he will kind of start getting rid of all of these nasty debuffs and just gaining some pure, awesome, powerful buffs. Croak's Sanctuary, pretty much everything he gains is soul-crushing for your opponents there. Colossal Deliverance, completely dropping the walls of the target settlement. Grand Palanquin, giving you 15% all the way up to 30% more movement range for your accompanying lord, letting Gor-Rok or whoever you choose to roll with Croak move all over the map, no problem. Of course, you know me, love him. Here's Gor-Rok. Strongest and angriest Saurus there ever was. Because he's not that angry, he's just incredibly terrifying. He's meant to be incredibly stalwart, doesn't really say anything, he just rips through enemies. That's a ward save, a good bit of physical resistance. and some spell resistance. And I have learned through our bit of damage, the damage blog post that Total War Creative Assembly put out themselves, spell resistance doesn't actually affect magical attacks. So it's only for when spells are being thrown at you. It says magical abilities, but anything that is just kind of anything that's not magical attacks that is magic related is counts as a spell. So, you all probably knew that already. I did not. I've been sitting here spewing on that magic resistance is keeping us safe from spell resistance is keeping us safe from magic attacks. Our first battle here, though, against the Pallid Nurslings. Stinky lads making the jungle all sorts of nasty, lowering property values everywhere they go. We are playing on a very hard difficulty. I forgot to drop in our actual stats there with the Ultimate Crisis on at 175% strength there. So all of the crisis is on except for the Wild Hunt. I just don't like dealing with Wood Elves no matter where it is. I like fighting the Wood Elves. I don't like fighting whole stacks of murder monsters from the trees. So everything's on very hard. Dive on in. So we've got some Plague Bearers, a couple Nurglings, and Plague Toads being by far the most dangerous unit here. I think they've got a lethal poison, which will damage our units per time, or like over time. Nasty stuff. What kind of spells are you rolling with, sir? Stream of Corruption, Pestilent Breath, and Miasma of Pestilence. Fair enough. Is it enough to bring down the Deliverance of Pizza? Probably not. That'll begin. Alright, first battle is upon us. Let's start our deployment. Before we do so, we'll dive on in here and just take a look at some of our units here. Orb is still on. Oh, the skinks hanging all over it. I thought they had blow darts. No, they've got javelins. Poison tip javelins. Big happy boy. He's just here for treats. The only reason he showed up is because we promised treats. Got Lord Croak. Sitting there doing his thing. Still waking up, very angry to be here. All of our lovely expendable skinks. These guys. Itza's got them painted yellow, interestingly enough. Same thing with our Saurus, a lot of a yellow coloring. Really gnarly looking weapons here. This one can't be doing much for doing slicing damage and clean. You have to hit them several times. Just the way the Saurus like it. They basically rode around with chain swords, but ones they do all the chaining themselves. Spearmen as well. Much scarier than your typical spearman. There's our army. Let's get to kind of sitting up for what they've got here. They've got the Plague Bearers off to one side, the Nurglings, and then the Toads behind. Alright, perfect. I think we can handle no problem. Set up the Javelin Boys. Have them up front with some spears behind them. Tehedowin is not here. They get confused all the time. We just tell them Tehedowin's on his way, and they fall right in line. Set up Croak. We'll have the Bastillodon up front as well, because he hands out the healing to everyone in this little area. I prefer him to be healing up Croak, Gor-Rok, and the Saurus Warriors. Let's actually switch the positioning of our Saurus Warriors here, since they don't have that many cavalry units. They want you guys to be flanking, and the Spearmen to take the initial brunt of that fight, the Plague Bearers. So they will be the ones that take the damage, and the Saurus Maces can come on in from behind. These guys here. And them to shreds. So, infantry, skink cohort, and then the boys. Sweet. If you're wanting to know how I am moving all around the units as I am, we'll do that real quick. I am holding Alt to move them around in formation. It also works if you just go ahead and I'll grab the whole unit here, because if you lock your group, they stay in formation as well, and you can just kind of right-click them out as you would normally. But if you would like some more precise movements with smaller groups, you just hold Alt to move the whole formation around, and if you would like to rotate them, you hold Control at the same time. The battle as well, let's get to it. We're going to rotate like so, that way all of our skinks, spearmen are in the forest for fighting against those nasty plague toads there. plus our Bastillodon can get some nice poison in. Croak too. Alright, so you will be moving in this position. You guys take the hill. You guys get off to the side. We'll have these maces here go straight after these Nurglings. Let's have you guys come in behind our Javelin Skinks. They move very quickly. We don't want them to overextend and get taken out. Just go straight after that Herald of Nurgle. Croak's getting a little bit behind. Walk for a moment. We don't want to take too much spell damage from Quakus here either, so keep that in mind. Move the Skinks up. Swords come on in as well. Switch these guys to running again. Oh, Gor-Rok, you can definitely speed on up. Looks like they are sitting the Nurglings back. That's a really good cast. We'll keep healing the boys up, though. I'm going to keep the Bastillodon nearby. You go straight down the middle. Well, if they don't like to fight in one big blob here, that makes things way easier for me. I can charge in this group. Then Gor-Rok, you head straight through. Spearmen. Those toadies are going all the way around. Take you guys off of guard mode and get those javelins chucking. Those toads went all the way around. Did it work out for them? Probably not. Go for the tier 2 Deliverance of Pizza on all of these plague bears as they rush on in. See the heals going out. And boom. May not have gotten quite as much damage as I initially thought. We'll find out here in just a second. Now, those plague bears got destroyed. Let's pull Croak out for a second here. Get everyone surrounding. You can charge the Bastillodon in on these plague bears here. Just let Croak heal up from the Bastillodon. Looks like Spearmen are working in tandem with the Javelins. Let's go ahead and have you guys pull around. These other Javelins going to do the same. Spearmen can do just fine. They've taken no casualties so far against the Plague Toads. Perfect for more Deliverance of Pizza. Should see these Plague Bearers off. Bastillodon come back around, and let's try to heal up our Spearmen. Haven't taken any losses yet, but the Javelins themselves have. Looks like those Toads would really like to leave formation to chase them. Everyone just work together to bring down those Toads. Hiding in the forest they are. Bastillodon going over and help out as well. Lending some heals, as we have pretty easily finished off the other. Rest in peace. Herald of Nurgle. There down he goes. But everyone's going to rush down these Plague Toads here. All of our casualties going to the Skink cohort is fantastic. Doubtful we'll get to heal for too long, but we'll take the decisive win. Alright, decisive victory. Only 14 fell in the fighting. Looks like one of those was a Saurus, and all the others were a Skink cohort. That's perfect. Sorry, Quakus. Didn't quite have it. We could ritually purify, we could kill and eat, or we could exterminate. And gain ourselves more armor and research rate for 2 turns? Sold. Even more reason to make sure you take limited casualties in every single battle there. I'm betting that's only an option for fighting against Chaos, though. Onward towards Jotl. 53 alignments. Looks like also a decisive victory for us. We're going to be in, I realized that also, for SFO, our main stance is actually going to be Battle March stance. The Great Plan calls for a time of war. Situation you actually get changes as the situation does, so you will replenish as you siege in Battle March stance. That's awesome. Melee and missile weapon damage plus 20%. You have to pay more for your units, so no matter what, as long as you're fighting, as long as you're marching around normally, you're going to be paying more for your units, unless you're in Astromancer or one of the other stances. Very intriguing. 5 in. Onwards to victory. Right then, so they get the hill. Fair enough, they've got the high ground. Can we see too many of their units there? Just one unit of Plague Bearers. I bet the other one's probably either here or wide on the other end. Let's set up a Skink cohort to take those guys down, because they're quite a bit larger targets than the Nurglings are. We'll actually have a chance of hitting them. And then we'll deploy a Spearman in the center. And those Macesaurus moving to flank. I think it'd be a good idea, though, with this one to just send Gor-Rok and the Bastillodon up front. Try to draw as many of these guys over for some deliverance of pizza that we can, but we'll see. Macesaurus. Yeah, we can kind of clump up a little bit. We can deploy the Saurus out to the sides when we get a little bit closer, but let's see if we can lure them into a more blobby fight. That'll begin. Move up kind of like so. Do so kind of cautiously. Send the Bastillodon up front because he's way faster. And they march. This being a passive ability that's always active as long as you've got leadership is so much better than what it was previously. Bastillodon, Crystal, much more worth it. Tied in with this guy because he's got some poison attacks, so he can deal out some poison himself. Alright, so that's a unit. There's the Plague Bearers. They're all the way across this front here. Gonna move up like so. We'll explode one line and come down the other way from there. Gor-Rok, hold this position. Spearmen. Interesting strategy. See if it pays off for him. Macesaurus up. All clumping up around Gor-Rok. That's perfect. I'm gonna leave all of my units back for now. You smash in. We'll drop a tier 1 deliverance. That way we should be able to cast the second one pretty quickly. Move up, start chucking. You guys fight together on these group of Nurglings here. Destroy them. Taking a bit of damage. Go ahead and pull him out. Let the Saurus come on over and fill in. Still keep their backs to the spears there. Good old Saurus versus Nurgling. I mean, this should be not a fight. Saurus with mace and the spears, they should easily outrange them. Throwing the spear down. The disrespect as he gets pelted with the Nurgling's dodgeball style. And we'll throw away from the fight. He takes a lot of damage in the melee. Grab that another tier 1 deliverance. Perfect. Tear him up, Gor-Rok. Rain of javelins, and luckily they've got lots of good accuracy. Not too much friendly fire going on there. You need to get away from the fight, bro. You're taking a lot of damage. Let's let the Revivification heal do its thing. I do not like Broke. Guys back. Fight. Give these guys the old bump and they should leave. Replenishment should be no problem here. After sitting for a turn. Just chucking Nurglings around. Yeah, I think it's time for you boys to leave. Alright, well that garrison got obliterated. All of our damage going pretty much to Lord Croak there. The Honorable and Venerable. Oh, we can just give him the Sun Standard of Show Tech. Look at that. Design unit 10% more missile resistance and the bolstered armor. Sweet. Loot and occupy for a bit of extra replenishment. I don't think we need to, though. Let's go ahead and occupy up just so we don't take the provincial instability debuff there. Rebellions normally aren't a bad thing for us to kind of rise up and crush, but with so many enemies nearby, we've got the forces of Horn and Siege in the Gwanji Valley, and then all of the Skaven in the south rolling with the Pallid Nurslings, which we still have to finish off. As Gor-Rok does not like any warm bloods at all, I think the only warm blood factions we are going to actually allow to remain alive are going to be the Wood Elves. Everything else we are going to declare war on at some point to be pushing them out of our lands. They don't belong here, and Croak and Gor-Rok will make sure that its empire grows. Alright, Gor-Rok. I think what we'll go for you is our route marchers. Get back down so we can move around Lustria a bit quicker. Not getting any skills for Croak is unfortunate off the start, but we will gain them. Although, actually, that's already too late. Because we could go for the Inspiring Presence and try to just tip Croak over the edge if he just needs a little bit more experience, but that'd be alright. Croak himself does train as he sits places. Alright, so Itza is currently a Lizardman commune. Romantic Nexus. Did that actually kick in when we were fighting the previous battle? I didn't see it, but I was probably completely blind to it. Now we've got the Lizardman Plaza. We'll go ahead and throw in the 2,000 at that. As well as gold mining. Incredibly interesting. It would be a lie to say we needed it already. Chests of gold, though, would be quite nice. Over here at Jadal, we're definitely going to throw in the growth building. Not even a question. And then since a lot of our buildings don't unlock as many technologies until the really late tiers, it's much more, a little bit more free to move around and grab the technologies you want. I think we want to go all in on the growth to start, even though if it makes me sad. Oh, no, gold mining pit. With the gold. Gold! It will actually take us many turns to recruit some Saurus, so let's sit for our 2 turns that we have to. Only for the 2 turns, we'll grab in these. We can only grab 1 Saurus. Ooh, you know what? Let's grab the Saurus later on then. We can wait till we've got some of our buildings built. It's going to take several turns for us to actually get over to the other side, so let's throw in these 3 teams of Skink Cohort, maybe 1 team of Skink Cohort. 1, I mean. Obviously 2. Wizard and his math. Have any heroes we can throw in yet? The answer to that one is a hefty no. So be it. Pretty nice first turn there. We didn't get nearly as much alignment for conquering the settlement. 1 for the settlement and 3 for the land battle. Good to know. Okay, quick look at our diplomacy. Looks like Zwanhua Pek and everyone around here are likely to give us deals, but not yet. Unless I'm willing to give them some gold. Nah, we'll wait. I prefer they give Itza gold. We have to pass them out ourselves, but if we do, if we must, we must. For now, though, we'll grab just 2 units of Skink Cohort with Javelins. We'll move on down. Try to come down and crush Ketza as fast as we can. Get this bad province under our control, and then figure out where our next line of battle lies. Alright, so this is going to be the menu that pops up for you on your second turn. Every time you're playing SFO Grimhammer, you are able to come on into these settings and change up anything you want to make the game even easier or harder. I'm going to leave everything as is exactly, but you have the opportunity to do so exactly as you wish. Oh yeah, now while we're here, let's go ahead and fix up the camera settings. Or speediest as we can. Also, after this, just do a quick check of said graphic settings. Get it all the way here. Perfect, cameras are all sorted, and then we'll just jump in real fast. This is the graphic settings. Most of the time, if your system's acting up, it is the shadows that are throwing things off. I always drop mine to medium, no matter what. No matter what. Alright, so the turn is ours again. We've got 3,000 gold. Let's come on over to Itza, although we could go into a march. I feel like that would be all that useful. Come on over to Itza. See about recruiting in those Saurus here. 18. We could only get 2. These Saurus warriors are not cheap. We might have been able to get more if we had saved. Let's just go for this for now. Actually, get back. Stay in Itza for this turn, and then we'll come on up. I don't think we'll have enough movement to hit Itza next turn. If we do, we'll just charge on over as is and make do, and we'll probably just go for the recruitment afterwards, just to make sure that the Paladin Nurslings do not replenish up their forces. We can get this province under our control. And from there, we can kind of shield up and wait. Do some upgrading to the forces there. The Sentinels of Zeti would like a deal. Gonna put us on the 1,000 Maws dislike list. How much do I have to pay you? I mean, I'm tempted to threaten. I'm not giving you 2,000 for trade. That's all the foolish. Just start getting some deals with the Sentinels here while they're still functioning. The fact that they start with a Slan makes them a little bit more dangerous than previous, because the Slans all have kind of a nuke that they can throw at the enemy. Bound spell they start with, as we discovered while playing Bretonia. Alright, I don't think that's enough now to get one more unit of... We want to get all 3 Saurus, so I won't do any building this turn. Grab the Saurus in. Alright, the turn is ours, and we can actually move on over to hit Ketza. So let's come to the 50% mark, so I could go into an in-camp stance if I wish. Nah, nothing's here at Ketza. That's what we go for then. We'll finish these fools on off, and then we'll sit and recruit up. It would be a decisive victory if we auto-resolved it. I think we will this time. These guys are half slain. I'm not sure what happened to them. They must have been smacked by our fellow Lizardmen here. Still lost way more than we would have. We gained a Talisman of Endurance. We could loot and occupy for 15% replenishment. I think we will. I think we will. We have now unlocked the Rite of Ferocity. The Paladin Nurslings have been wiped out. Perfect. Now we've got a good deal of gold to throw in those Saurus. They're so expensive. Yeah, we will absolutely prepare Ketza, and then we have the Serpent Layers of Sotek here at Tier 3. It is in Ketza where Sotek's followers are the most fervent. Ratmen should fear the cold bloods that emerge from these layers. 20% more post-battle loot sounds fantastic. 20% leadership when fighting its Skaven basically turns all of your forces into unbreakable. Very nice. Let's go ahead and just throw in another foraging camp. Make sure we've got plenty of growth and replenishment rate. It gives us, like, one of the great things about SFO as well is every single one of your buildings that makes sense to provide a garrison does. So you get some skirmishers that are out foraging. Awesome. I don't think that ever upgrades. You just get those skirmishers for having the workers there. Alright, Gor-Rok. Bonded service is going to be recruitment cost, ancient cunning, ambush success, corruption, and then your control. You get all the way over here to renowned and feared as well. It only drops upkeep by 4% for you, though. Interesting. I think we'll probably just want to make him incredibly deadly to start. But we're going to grab the Inspiring Presence, so we pass out 100 experience per turn to go along with whatever Croak is. Okay, so we finally got a skill point for Croak. We got Connected to the Winds, so it drops the Winds of Magic cost for all 3 of our Deliverance of Itza. And Indomitable Spirit gives him the ability to regenerate and cause terror. Geomantic Protection gives him the ability, the Big Bowl of Nope, which is just a 70% ward save. No, it's a 40% ward save, 100% missile resist. 100%, huh? That bypasses the 90% with an explosion knockback effect. The explosion isn't normally part of it, but 40% missile resistance, Big Bubble of Nope is fantastic. That would also unlock some faction-wide buffs as well. All eyes on Croak. A 15% more movement range is really great. Let's go for the Big Bubble of Nope, though, because we are about to start fighting with the Skaven. I think going after Lord Skrulk is incredibly important. So if we can crush his power and then move after the other rats, Clan Spittle, I think, is over here in the Headhunter's jungle. Dealing with Skrulk first, dealing with Pestilence. Pretty important. Don't need any Plague Monks raining down on us. I'm hoping that Tluxlon and Slanhua Peck kind of hold off the demons for now. We can turn up here and fight them off later. I think there's a couple human factions that should be fighting with them to start, but we'll soon see. Humans will be pushed out. Same as all the others. Bretonnians, Empire, all usurpers. Wait. No more deals. We can maybe get some trade in with the Sentinels of Zeddy. We'd have to pay them, though. Oh, we'd have to threaten them. Okay, no deals to be had for now. And our alignments will have a natural decline, I believe, of 1 per turn. Or is it 2 per turn? It's 2 per turn. Ooh, could be in lots of fights. You do gain more alignments later on. Like, some of these technologies here, as you get sequences, they will give you more alignments firm battle. Plus 5% for each. We'll have to see if we can actually keep our alignments under control, because we're about to drop below 50, which will take us to our first debuff. Alright, commandment we're going to go for. The Alignment of War would give us some experience, weapony things. Alignment of Order for if we had any issues with control, which, I mean, we definitely are going to have some issues with control. Alignment of Crafting gives us some growth. Magical item drop chance faction-wide. Those are fantastic. We'll probably start with the Alignment of Crafting and switch over to the Alignment of Monuments maybe later on. Yeah, we'll take the extra growth. Rite of Curiosity would give us extra experience for units, more research rate, casualty replenishment rate known territory, and more leadership. Go ahead and kick this off now. You don't actually have to pay for it, which is fantastic, and it lasts for 10 turns. It's the right of the getting hyped up. Do business, that's another turn. Okay, so for the Mace of Ulumak, we need to raise or sack 3 different settlements belonging to the following race, Skaven. Yeah, those old school quests where it was always about sacking and raising settlements when you were trying to capture. Astromancers have spoken. Signs show that the Mace of Ulumak has been taken deep underground by the foul Rakin. Chase them down into their dens and wrest your rightful tool back. He's a fake Mace of Ulumak right now. 25% more weapon strength. Alright, fair enough. You go get that mace. One more turn until we can throw in some more. Our Saurus are here. Gotta wait a little bit longer. Wait 5 turns for the Lizardmen Plaza. We can upgrade to the next tier. I think instead, we're going to go for the upgrade at Ketza. That way we can further our goals towards gaining the Serpent Layers of Sotek here. Finish our first technology as well. No deals to be made still, unless we want to spend some money, which I do not. So, I guess before we end the turn, let's take a look at our... Ooh, not that. Incorrect. Our objectives here. For our short campaign victory, we must defeat the Pallid Nurslings, Clan Pestilence, the Bloodkeepers, and Clan Spittle, which is kind of our immediate surroundings. After doing so, we will gain the short victory, so we'll have 1 extra capacity for all heroes faction-wide, and then extra 2 control. For the long campaign victory, we have to basically control all of Lustria through either vassalship or military allies. We already have the the River of Kurveza. We have a lot to go. And upon completing that, you get extra diplomatic relations with all factions, or movement range. We will likely be taking this campaign to the long campaign victory, but not all the way to domination, which is just take over the whole world. Alright, sweet business. That's a turn. Okay, so the Tablet of Crafts has been researched. The following item advances the great plan concerning Lizardmen crafts. Some more post-battle loot. Awesome. Can't quite reach Oxial. Or, Wixel. So let's move this portion of Ketza. And instead of having all that upkeep, we could possibly go for the Astromancy stance. Extra replenishment for Croak, who is replenishing incredibly slowly. I think we do want the extra line of sight. Go to Astromancy, we'll stay here. Prepare to invade Wixel next turn. I won't declare war on the rats, though, until then. Surprise attack. Wonder who they're fighting currently. And Pestilence has no enemies.
Bring decay.
Oh, not yet. Okay, then, so back at Itza, I will not go for the gold mine yet. Having the Pterodons would probably be pretty great. But I actually think for our army, I'm going to have some of our sinks here. Likely the Million Stalkers, just for their ability to kind of rush in on fools from behind and explode them and scare them off. I think it shows that they have a leadership buff. Of course, we could also just go for the big beasties, which, to be fair, big beasties work very well with Saurus, so you know what? That'll probably be what we go for instead. Let's come on in and grab the Old One Monument, because as this upgrades... Ooh, the trash truck's here. Lovely. I'm going to mute for a moment. We'll be right back. Alright, and we're back. Timing on that is completely random. Let's go ahead and throw in, I think, the Old One Monument here. Get more income from all buildings in the province, which would be great with our gold mine. And that just gets better as you go. Up to the technology sequence of geomantic healing, which is awesome. Constant casualty replenishment rate plus 5%. Plus all the other goodies that come with those sequences. You get 8 control, 15% more income from all buildings, and then 5% more in the adjacent provinces. So, extra control, extra income. I'd like to get the bee spins in as well. We just don't have quite the gold for it. Okay, so after completing the Tablet of Crafts kind of unlocked the rest of that sequence there, which lots of good 50% more income from looting. You don't get all that much gold from looting anyway, so good to increase that whenever you can. More income from cities. Our next technology is going to be the Tablet of the Saurus, however. More missile resist for Saurus and Temple Guard, as well as a bit of drop for recruitment cost, which would have been great previously. Although we wouldn't have gotten it until after we recruited in the Saurus anyway, so... And go to recruit more. I think it'll take us out of our Astromancy stance. Stay in how we are with now, with a 14 stack of units for the next battle. We'll see just if Skrulk is retreated on back or not. But for the other military building here, I'm going to save. We'll throw in the Taming Pen. Getting in some of our artillery beasts, probably a good idea. Sooner rather than later. We siphon any gold out of the nearby denizens. Ooh, possibly. 40. It's some gold. None else. Could we possibly get involved in any wars? Or trading with the ghosts of Palwax. Hopefully they can survive.
Great leader.
No wars to get involved in for a little bit extra gold. Such is the way. So now that we have dropped into the 40 tier, though, it has increased our construction time by 10% for all settlement buildings. Dropped all of Croak's resistances by 10. Dropped his speed by 10%. And then also his replenishment rate, and then dropped his Winds of Magic cost for the deliverance, or increased the deliverance of Itza magic cost by 2. Definitely want to keep him out of the below 50. This just gets continuously worse as it goes from there. So let's get ourselves another battle very soon. Onward to Wixel. Okay, so our next mission has been issued to the Portent of Scotland. How happy this little snake is. Capture 250 battle captives. We have 15 turns to complete it, and if we do so, we get some Blessed Chameleon Skeeks. Oh, that's sad. We don't get Saurus. Lord of Strength, the Old One Scotland, does not perceive this portent solely as raw vigor. Recognizes economic strength as well. Storms that rage over the gold mines are a sure sign that he requires the cohorts to build their wealth. Should the gold be accrued, a secret spawning will surely follow. Interesting, that doesn't match at all. Alright, well, Gor-Rok, onwards to victory. Let's see if there are any wars just yet. Still no, huh? Well. All the same to us, let's get them. You know there's rats here. How many rats is going to be the ultimate question. Blind Pestilence has been revealed and we're definitely declaring war. Skrulk. This island isn't big enough for the two of us. Your doom ending is coming, Nofur. Bring it. Okay, so Wixel is defended by it looks like a single chieftain, a couple of clan rats, a lot of clan rats, a couple of gutter runners with slings, which are actually pretty tough, and then it's some plague block catapults, which have the contaminated effect and are armor piercing. We need to really get in and shut down these plague claws very quickly. I'm not even going to worry about building up any kind of towers at all because I do not want to get attacked by the other force of the scroll. Getting jumped by a whole bunch of rats simultaneously is a bad time for anyone. We've got six uses of Menace Below. We will want to keep an eye on it. Probably want to keep our skink cohort out front, taking all of the damage from the walls and the plague claw catapults, and allowing our Saurus to file on in and do all of the damage. Bring down the hammer. I really do struggle against Skaven settlements, though, so we'll see just how well we can get this done. Okay. Let the slaughter commence. Right, let's get to it. Start deployment and see just how we should bring down this Skaven garrison here. They generally attack from these two positions here. We may want to try something a bit different. There are 3 towers here, but they would be able to fire upon us from up on top as we moved our way through. It would likely be a good idea to kind of strike here. We could use some of the wall as cover. Up here we have no cover whatsoever from any Plague Claw nonsense. They can just kind of fire down the entire time. Also the fastest way to stop that too. So you know what? We'll do what we normally do. Gor-Rok in. Broke. And the Stillodon. We'll have all of our Javelin Skinks take front. These Mace Warriors need to stay back a bit. There, we've got our line. And we'll have to pull these guys off to the sides. Let's do... They'll definitely want to be attacking our Saurus first. They'll attack the Javelin Runners because they have no choice, but they want to attack our Saurus. This looks good. We can kind of move in after things have been disrupted. We've got all our reserve troops back here. Kind of move them to both sides there. We'll have all of the Saurus, Skink cohort, and let's get them. Have them move straight on in. I'll have the Skink cohort move up as well. They're summoning more clan rats behind their lines. Interesting strategy. Javelin runners forward. Firing on our Bastillodon, looks like. That's just fine. Have the Mace Saurus. Let's go ahead and have them just take the walls. Butt ladders deploy. Set the Skinks up so they can chuck those javelins up over the wall. It'll be a huge nuisance. Stillodon, you get on the front gate there. Try to scoot Croak right past too. Keep saving up our deliverance. When they get in position, they should start chucking those javelins too. Let's have the swords without shield take the wall. See the boys start. Oh, here comes the rain of Plague Claw. Move up to as kind of close to the wall as you can there. Another summon of clan rats behind the wall. That's perfectly fine with me. It's like all of those gutter runners dislike Croak the most. Go ahead and sacrifice yourselves there. They've stopped him from moving, interestingly enough. Let's go ahead and drop down the big bubble of nope on everyone as they move forward here. Croak, you keep pulling away. Go for the deliverance of pizza once we actually have them locked down. Javelins get up to the walls. We'll actually keep you guys back. You guys hit the front gates. Oh, you just go up behind them. Works for me. Keep chucking those javelins. They should easily beat these clan rats here. Look, Gor-Rok's having a really hard time getting through this gate. He's probably lost his siege attacker for SFO. Definitely decided to switch targets there. Celadon, go after. Oh, they open up the gatehouse for us? Oh, you poor fools. Get them in. You boys get up on the walls. Ah, I didn't quite get through. Now you two. Keep chopping on the gates. Getting shot to pieces by those towers there. They're doing their best to rain down doom, although we are just using their area as a shield just enough. Set them up. The javelins are going all the way around. Come on, get through that gate. Now they come out and fight us. Perfect. That works. Now all sorts of strangeness going on here. Alright, we'll drop down the big bubble of nope again then. We'll get the Saurus down there in but a moment. Looks like they're trying to take down their own walls. Old strategy, Cotton. They're getting really good hits on our Saurus somehow through the gates. You gotta give him credit for it. It's a pretty impressive bit of work. The gutter runners think they're tough. Happens sometimes. We really need to get through the gates, though, before dropping in any deliverances of pizza. You guys got completely surrounded by those rats on the wall. Let's go ahead and give them something to cry about. I mean, they're about out of ammo. They've not done all that much damage. I'm very, very happy to see that. Yeah, deletes a couple units of rats there off the wall. Perfect. Come on down and kill these wolf rats. If you guys get mauled, no problem. There are always more Saurus warriors besides. This is the toughest gate you'll ever see, though. Gor-Rok, can you go up and over the walls? You can indeed. Alright, my friend, let's send you out and around. We'll keep the Bastillodon here, though. Keep it trying to savage these walls. We're through the gates, but they are blasting away with those catapults. Everyone in. Javelins up on top of the walls. We'll just send all the Saurus in to start chopping on the gates. Once Gor-Rok gets up on top, we'll send him in. Tier 2 deliverance of pizza, just in the middle of all these clan rats here. Saurus are not scared of you. Boom. Sorry, rats. Yeah, no armor is a bad day for Deliverance. Get on down in there, Gor-Rok. Scare them off. We're gonna have the Javelin guys up top here. Yeah, they're probably fine where they're at. Just get to those gates. More gutter runners to cause us some issues. It's because we're not actually through the gatehouse yet. They just came out to fight us. God, the AI knows how to use that to their advantage. Gor-Rok is stuck in the mirror. Gor-Rok is stuck in the middle of that nonsense there. We're getting good and healed up. Let's go ahead and take out this unit of spears once they do arrive. We'll wait for them to funnel on in. Gor-Rok, you were crawling up that ladder just as slowly as humanly possible. And then we Deliverance. Enjoy. Big bubble of Nope over there. We'll switch over to the Deliverance after. Well, not what I wanted to see. All the swords coming up and over the walls like that, but can't really give them the order to actually dismount the walls very well, so you get what you get. Walks in. Have him take the gatehouse here. Tier 2 Deliverance in on all these clan rats, and that should delete them. We're winning the gatehouse, slowly. The swords are doing incredible in their melee. I thought these things were out of ammo, now they've got plenty. Gatehouse is ours. Everyone in. Was he just not casting his spells like I want him to? Cast Deliverance there. Not solo I need. We'll have the Bastillodon with the Revivification Crystal go down. Try to get some heals up. There we go, that unit's gone. They still will be slowing us down though, annoyingly enough. Let's send, oh, those Javelin Runners are gone. This is just goofy. What is happening here? Nah, you can't give them an order. They're like stuck. All right, well, come on down and let's drop the big bubble of Nope down here then. Keep them safe at least. All of these swords that are up front, let's go ahead and just kind of pull them back as they are just getting blobbed up and cut down. It's a lot of free damage we don't need to be taking. Roke, let's come on around. We own all of the towers, thankfully. Our normal swords are starting to give. Get in a position where you can drop down a normal Deliverance here in the middle of all those clan rats, we should be great. Bastillodon, you go straight through the line. You guys can rip apart those clan rats, no problem. The sheer accuracy. Plague Claws for lobbing those shots. Bastillodon, get in there. We need some quick units. Stat. Force Warriors, get on in there to fight the Gutter Runners. Should be an easy task for you. They just lob shots. I'm Jello for free. Luckily, that's not doing too much damage. Excuse me, did you stop attacking the catapults? They're almost out of ammo, but that matters not. Get on over here, Roke. Javelins are cutting down to this poor fool here pretty quickly. He's just gonna go after those Saurus there. The out of control ones take a lot of damage. Alright, just come out beyond the walls then. Jeez. Big bubble of Nope on the way out. Yeah, gutter runners have a lot of missile resist. Not worth trying to bring them down. The out of control guys are taking a lot of damage. Saurus, you stay here. That should break the rest of their spirits, looks like. Their leader's gone, their catapults are gone. And there's the victory. Man. Long slog against the rats for sure. Ooh, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit here and fight for a little bit longer. I don't know if we're actually able to keep healing. I'll see if I can heal up some of our individual Saurus units here a little bit. Catch you in a moment. Alright, well, a decisive victory. Looks like Croak got out of there with 1,200 kills, delivering the Itza to Clan Pestilence the old-fashioned way. We gained a Totem of Prophecy, so we cause fear, we cause terror, and we have the ability to recover. Awesome. We gained 3 alignment for that one, so possibly it's just the bigger battles give you more alignment. Look, it quite took us up to above 50 though, so that's real sad. For Oxeal, I think we will loot and occupy. All buildings are damaged. Yeah, that's just fine. We'll take the replenishment. Damaged buildings are no problem. Taking down the settlement here is actually the issue. Sweet. Well, we finished our portent of Tzatli. Somehow. And we gained ourselves some Blessed Chameleon Skinks, which will be an awesome bit of a skirmishing for our units here. And normally, I would say it is best to kind of bank all of your Blessed units. I'm likely going to use a couple of these guys as we get closer to the enemy. Blessed Chameleon Skinks have a little bit more range than their normal variant. I think they have slightly more strength, or it's reload, one of the two. Experience plus 25%, so they gain experience faster too. Sweet. Do these guys stay invisible while shooting? They still have snipe. Fire. Moving, stalk. No, no snipe. That's been changed. We can't stay in the shadows and just keep firing on them for hours. Fair enough. Or Gor-Rok, then. Grabbing the Proud Warrior already would probably be a very good idea. Let's instead just make him an absolute monster. So more charge bonus and weapon strength. Skills for Croak. Real sad. Still under 50 alignments, and that's going to continue to drop every single turn. Huh. Well, things are going to be dire in the city before too long. Got 5,000 gold over here at Oxeal. They have the buildings for the spawn pools of the lower castes. Strategy. Red crests are actually pretty strong. And they've got some armor piercing, so it's going to be a cheap, expendable armor piercing source. Which is not something that I think we would use here at Itza just yet. So let's go ahead and we'll disband the spawn pools of the lower castes for now. Come on back over and throw in the aiming pin at Itza. In SFO, feel less in need to grab the defensive buildings soon on, unless we get attacked quite aggressively. It gives you a few extra garrison, skirmishers and Croxicor, as well as giving you a few better tower projectiles and things, so it's good for that. However, it doesn't actually give you all that much in terms of garrison. It gives you some pretty mean guys way later on down in the Energy Dome, but you actually get a lot of your pretty scary garrison just from your buildings you get. So we've got some Bastillodons here, some extra Saurus Spears coming from that building, and the like that. So we've got an extra Bastillodon over in the old one monument as well, so there's lots of angry armored dinos running around. 7 turns before our next bit of population here, so I'm actually going to go ahead and upgrade Jotl as well. Keep saving up for it's at tier 3 at the Holy Ziggurat. Alright, Gor-Rok. Don't have a lot of gold left. Let's see if we can get into any trade agreements. Seems like no. Alright, well, let's give it one more in turn then. Let's see how the rats respond. Okay, so we see no rats. Build up Shrine of Birds here, giving us a keep drop for all Pterodon riders. This must have been where Tlaqua used to start. Let's come on over. So all of these settlements are going to be inhabited by Skaven. Figuring out where Skrulk is kind of the difficult part here. I don't necessarily mind having to retake Oxiel from him. The issue will come if he decides to sit in Oxiel and wait with his garrison. I think for our next skill point here, we're going to want to just give ourselves a ton of extra movement range. So 15% more movement range, up to 30% on that Grand Palanquin. It'd be great if we can get the Saurus who carry Croak's Palanquin as an individual unit. Croak's Honor Guard.
Be not fool.
And so in effort to kind of move up to Subatoon and defeat this settlement and move back quickly, I don't care so much about losing Oxiel, like I said. So if we can fight the more battles we get here, the more in alignment we are. So come on out into the Astromancy stance. Can we do any raiding here as the Saurus? Looks like a healthy no. Let's stay in the Astromancy stance. We are in friendly territory for just barely. So, over here at Oxiel, I will do absolutely nothing. Just in case we lose the settlement. Saving up some gold. It's likely a good idea to start getting in another army. Do we have to deal with any kind of supply lines here as the... Look like it. If we were to recruit him on in, we would just have the upkeep. So there's no supply lines, thankfully. Okay, yeah, I think we definitely want to get another Saurus in very soon. I will kind of leave that to you all. What should we get for our first Lord here? This is going to be the end of all the time we've got for today, but for our next Lord defending Itza, I think we're going to take the turn, or the time, to just get another army recruited on up so we can get even more alignments by possibly getting into some fights with these other ratty factions. We just don't have enough armies to strike out and defend Itza. So should it be a Kroxagor Ancient, a Red-Crested Skink Chief? Should we stick with the whole Itza retinue here and grab ourselves another Saurus Goldblood? I will leave that choice to you, but for now, I am out of time for today. I have been Space Wizard War. Remember to leave a like for the like god and a sub for the sub zone. See you on the next one.